this study done in the 30s, 70.
1937 it was published. Yeah.
That in your country, well, I wouldn't say it has been ignored, but very few people have read the entire book, and I must compliment you for doing a new study in this country, well, because one has to wonder why.
I think there's a reason. I think American psychology has been overwhelmed by a naive behaviorism, which really had no regard for genetic processes. I think that's been quite unfortunate. Of course, it's had its positive side as well, but I think it's been unfortunate overall for psychology, and I think there probably have been people interested but who could never pursue it. I might comment that reviewers of our proposals, a number of them, their major criticism and the grounds on which they said we shouldn't be funded was that we'll never find more than a few cases, and therefore we'll never be able to draw any conclusions, and therefore why spend the money? You have any comments on that point of view?
Oh yes, I think these cases are valuable because the challenge, you have to read these case histories in all details, and people should try to use their many theories about people have many theories,
and they're a good test of those theories.
Yes, they should try to test their theories and test their testing on these cases, and then they'll find out they get into difficulties
very quickly. As a matter of fact, I don't think I've had my mind changed about more issues in my entire life than after I confronted a few sets of monozygotic twins reared apart.
I absolutely think it's worthwhile, and I hope that you'll be able to proceed and that you'll get the funding for it, because I think it's your study is unique, and you have possibilities which neither Newman or Shields or I have had, and there may come forward some, well, not one general conclusion, because that's not possible, but several conclusions of importance, of clinical importance, because environment, being a psychiatrist or psychologist or sociologist or anything, teacher, you have to assume that environment means something.
And makes a difference.
Yes, and then you should have a scientific basis for this assumption. I mean, it's futile to do a lot of treatment if treatment is, you have to concentrate your treatment there where it's likely to have an effect on an individual. And I'm quite sure that you can outline that many people can be influenced by environmental factors such as psychotherapy or any, like they can be influenced by drug therapy or any physical
I think
thing. But you have to have a realistic basis for your therapeutic attitude and your selection of cases for treatment.
I think the question is, what is the trait-relevant environment? What are the real environmental, instead of saying, well, the environment is the cause, which we have to find are the specific environmental features that make a difference.
Yes.
I think that's the real goal.
Well, it's you can say it in daily life. When I work with patients, I put on another cap, and I assume that what I'm doing is good for the patient, and I'm moving around with environmental things, and I'm establishing a theory about the development of the psychiatric history and so, and I'm not interfered by any control of that. Anything can fit into my personal subjective experience of the patient, and I can go on from that. And if I'm lucky, my treatment is okay, but it's more luck than knowledge, really.
That's true.
And I may have the wrong theory about it, but I may be lucky in my treatment, or the other way about. But I think we talked about the concept of neurosis and psychotherapy and psychoanalysis that there, and I personally think that Freud realized that biological factors were really of importance for whether you become neurotic or not. Once
they set the predisposition in a sense.
Yes, once you became neurotic, of course, psychological laws of some kind were in operation, but he didn't deny the importance
of biology.
No, he didn't. His successors tend to ignore it, or to pay lip service. Yes, of course, there's something like genetics, but who cares?